It's me, Welcome to Force Perspective. How you doing? Oh. Today we'll be taking a look at Jumpgrid, a small minimalistic dodge 'em up that requires quick reaction times and on-the-fly puzzle solving that may look simple on the surface, and is simple both visually and mechanically, but I'm still very confused. Also, is dodge 'em up a real term? This was unhelpful. So to start, I'll say Jumpgrid's mechanics are pretty basic. You can teleport up, down, left, and right to connecting nodes on the play grid, with outer edges connecting to each other a la Pac-Man rules, and your goal is to use these movements to collect all the cubes and then make it to the newly opened portal in the center. This can be more difficult than it sounds. Honestly, with how fast-paced and hectic the gameplay is, dying is going to be what you spend most of your time doing, making the one time you finally do succeed all the sweeter. But then you repeat that process over and over, which, yes, I expected, but somehow I ran into more walls in this game than I have in any other hyper-difficult reaction game I've played. I could never quite get into a flow that would carry me through that many levels. After a bit of playtime, I started getting in tune with Jumpgrid's speed, and that was certainly useful, but the challenges you're put up against change so readily that you always have to stay on your toes. Because Jumpgrid isn't actually a reaction game. It looks that way at first, but once you get to a certain point, it starts showing a more methodical side. Let me explain. The levels are split into 4 25-level long quadrants, and each of these quadrants brings a new element to the table. The first quadrant is the most simple, with fast, predictably moving obstacles that you can react to. The second quadrant adds obstacles that are still moving in a consistent pattern, but are moving faster and in such a way that it's impossible to simply react to them, meaning you need to start planning a route, and this is where the game shows its true colors. No pun intended. It changes from a fast-paced arcadey twitch reaction game into a faster-paced arcadey twitch puzzle game of sorts. No longer can you fly by the seat of your pants and hope for the best. You need to spend the first few attempts reading the possible paths and then execute on the best, or in some cases, only correct one. And I personally like this style change. I think it allows for a lot more creative level designs that are challenging mentally as well as physically taxing. So I'm glad they stick with this idea for the rest of the quadrants. But I have to say that the nature of having a correct path means a lot of levels can turn into a battle of memory more so than anything else. And your feelings on that statement tells you a lot about how you might feel about the game as a whole, because even though there is more to the game than just memorization, it's a prevalent element, and if you're looking for any longevity from the game, then that's going to come from speedrunning, which can all but entirely be memorization, so if that idea is off-putting to you, then there's enough of it here that you're going to have trouble ignoring it. But if you even just have a neutral stance on the matter, then it's fine. It's got all the other fixings you'd want. And as for the changes that come in the last two quadrants, Quadrant 3 introduces different walls coming in contact and forming safe pockets of space. These levels are probably my favorite because they are the most puzzle or maze-like, and as for Quadrant 4, it starts messing with the grid itself, either moving it, or stretching it, or this. This! Alright, so my burning hatred for the rotating levels is a little unfair, to be honest. It's not like they were designed to give me a migraine, that's not their purpose, it's just what happened 100% and it ruined the last quarter of the game for me. So, I'm not real comfortable evaluating the actual quality of Quadrant 4, but it's got some interesting level designs that are probably fun if you're not
absolutely livid.
Okay, so other than that, and understanding that the quite frankly fantastic level designs can be a lot more methodical than you might expect from similar games, I want to mention the simplified art style and how it works with the gameplay. Less simplified visuals, I think, would have really distracted from the experience, and it seems a little ridiculous to go so far as to say that no other art style would work, but I don't know, the visuals and gameplay are so tightly interconnected in my mind, I can't really imagine anything else. It's amazing how well they're packaged together. And then the only other things left are genre standards. Things that need to be in a game like this for it to even function, but aren't particularly interesting to talk about. The high challenge level to get you frustrated and make you a little too pleased with yourself after the fact. Yes! I am a metaphorical god! And then things like quick responsive controls, accurate hit detection, short death times, all the aspects that really cement in your mind the game doesn't suck. You do. And it has all that, so that's good. There is one missing feature that would have been nice though, and that's a level select. The speedrun mode allows you to choose specific quadrants, but not individual levels, and I would have liked to have given later levels another try with a clearer head, but that is impossible. And that's kind of it. Jumpgrid is very simple. Once you get past the first few levels and see one that relies on more than just quick reactions, then you know what the entire game is about. But in an Old Faithful sort of way. You know what you're in for, but the very focused and creative level designs make you want to see what's next. It's a very fun little game with a matching price tag that's perfect for anyone interested in a fast-paced, reflex-intensive game with some interesting puzzle elements. And even if you're not too keen on the fast pace, there is an option to decrease the speed, which is a nice addition. Personally, I see it as a bit of a cop-out, but I am also very bad at video games. But Jumpgrid is very good at what it does, and is definitely not the boss of me. Tell me what to do, I'll tell you what to do. Oh, thank God. Thanks for watching.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
I hate that. Oh, you son of a bitch.